first thing I'm going to take is this Bioderma pore refiner. It helps kind of tighten the pores and it improves your skin texture. So I'm just going to apply it basically in my T-zone where my pores are enlarged. And then I'm going to take L'Oreal's primer. I'm not exactly sure what this is called. It's primer. And I'm just going to apply this where I need it, which is basically on my nose and a little bit going on my nose going outward because that's where my pores are largest. And for foundation, I'm going to take the Milk Makeup Matte Blur foundation, and this is kind of, you have to shake it to kind of activate it. And I'm just going to apply that with a Pixie Beauty, this is not Pixie Beauty, I mean Real Techniques, I think it's a foundation brush or buffing brush, I think it's called. And I'm just going to apply that all over my face. It's a little bit darker than my skin, but that's okay because I rather go darker than lighter. And then I'm going to take the Smashbox concealer, and I'm going to apply it on this flat brush and kind of give myself a mini little facelift, and hopefully it works. I'm just going to apply that on my jawline and then blend it downward. I do actually like to use the Smashbox applicator because it's kind of got like a flat top to it, so it's really easy to do this type of what I'm doing on my jawline. And but I just decided to use the brush, and I'm going to use the same concealer but just in a lighter shade to kind of conceal and highlight. Don't remember the color that I use. I think it's called Light Neutral is the shade. Yeah, it's Light Neutral is the shade that I use in this concealer. And everything will be listed in the description box below. So don't forget to check that out because I tried to link everything down there. And the sponge I'm using is from Sigma. It's their 3D HD blender. I like it because it has kind of like a cut, two cuts on the side. So it's not exactly round. It's really easy to do your under eyes. And then just to set that before it creases, I'm going to take a setting powder, and I don't really bake, I just kind of set it and then let it press it into the skin. That's really the only place I'm going to set is my under eyes because they will crease. So. And then the palette that I'm going to be using is the Colourpop Sweet Talk palette, which is so pretty. I love the colors in this palette. I'm going to take this bottom corner matte shadow and I'm going to apply that into my crease as my transition shade, and I believe this is a Zoeva brush. I'm just going to apply it into my crease, blending that upward just until I get the intensity that I wanted. And these shadows were so good. They hardly had any fallout. They were super pigmented, really easy to blend. The colors were just so good. And then I'm going to take this Colourpop Jelly Much shadow. These things are amazing. I've tried them before. They're so pretty and so pigmented. I think this color is called Close to You or Close to Me or something like that. But I'm just going to apply this in the center of my eye, kind of as a base to kind of show me where I don't, where I don't want to put the darker shadows, I guess. It's just kind of as a base for where I'm going to put the shadow in the middle. Then the next color I'm going to use is this dark burgundy matte color, which is so pretty. I think it's one of my favorite colors in the palette. It's really pretty. All these colors in the palette work so well together. I'm going to apply that with the Sigma E35 blending brush in the inner and outer corner, again building it until I get the intensity that I wanted. And this color is really pigmented and it's a really pretty color, so I didn't have to work too much to get it as dark as I wanted it. It's a really pretty color and it works so good with the colors that are in this palette. I know I said that twice, but I was just really impressed by the colors that I used in this palette. They were just really pretty. And the next color I'm going to apply it over that Jelly Much shadow. And this color, oh my god, it was so pretty and intense without having to try to make it look intense. Like, that was just one swipe. And look at that. It's just It was so pretty. I don't think the camera does it justice. It was really pretty. So on my lower lash line, I'm just going to basically do the same thing. I'm putting the darker color along closest to my lash line, and then I'm going to blend that out with the transition shade I used in the beginning. So basically the same thing to the lower lash line. Super simple. And then in my waterline, I used a Dose of Colors eyeliner, a brown eyeliner, and I think it's called Fugitive. I could be wrong, but it will be listed in the description box below. I just applied that to my waterline, and in the inner corner of my eye, I basically did the exact same thing I did in the center of my eye. I just added a little bit of that Jelly Much shadow and then that pink shadow in the center. And then to warm up my face, if you haven't realized it already, I think I've used it in the last 5 videos. I'm going to use Benefit's Hoola bronzer with their bronzer brush. Again, I will link that brush in the description box because I always get questions about it. But if you haven't noticed, this has become my favorite cheek palette, just like their old one was also my favorite. But this is so, I love it. I love the colors, I love the highlighter, I love the blush, and it's just, yeah, I love it. I'm applying that just to warm up my face, and then I'm also going to use that same Hoola bronzer to contour my nose a little bit. These cheek palettes are it's just so worth it instead of buying it individually, all them individually, because it's super cheap buying just this palette and you get all of these colors. And I don't know, I really liked their last 2 that they came out with, but these new ones are really good too. And then I'm going to take this new palette from the Balm. It's Cheeks on the Go palette. I really like this one too. They also came out with 2 small little tin eyeshadow palettes, which look really pretty too. They also have the primers in them. And this palette, it comes with 3 blushes and 1 kind of, it's not really a highlighter, it is a blush, but it's kind of shimmery. So it says you can use the blushes separate or you can mix them to create your own color, which is basically what I did. I used the 2 in the beginning. And then it also says you can add the last shimmery one on top of the blushes to kind of give it like a, what am I trying to say? Like a illuminating kind of effect. It's really pretty. It adds like a soft highlighting effect. And then before I move on to highlight, I'm going to clean up under my bronzer just a little bit, just to kind of give it a little bit of a cleaner look. And I'm using the setting powder that I used in the beginning and my sponge. And then for highlight, I'm going to take this new Moonlight Magic highlighter from LA Girl Cosmetics. I think only the first 2 colors, I'm going to use the first color, but I think only the first 2 will kind of work for me. The 2 last ones are kind of a little bit too dark. And then before I forget, I'm just going to, first I'm going to swipe off the powder that I used to kind of clean up under my cheeks. And then I forgot to show it, but I'm using the Wet n Wild Cucumber 3-in-1 setting spray. And I'm just going to apply that first to kind of make the highlighter go on a little bit more intense and give it something to stick to. So I sprayed that on my face, and then I applied the highlighter with a Sigma. It's not a regular fan brush. I really like this one. It's called a strobe fan brush, I think. And it's specifically for this, so it's small and it works really well. I should probably link that in the description box too, because it's one of my favorite Sigma brushes and just one of my favorite fan brushes in general from any brand. And then for lips, I used a Colourpop lipstick in the color Tea Time. And that's it.